Welcome everyone to the next episode of our podcast where we discuss about e-commerce and different other opportunities that lie in it and processes along the way that people can use just for reference, for information, and to also reach out to us if they need anything based on what we speak. Today's topic is going to be about scaling your online store, and this is what's the most important part when you start off because you can start off with either one of two things. You can either build a store with no future plan, or you can build a store with a future plan so you have a roadmap in place. So the first thing that we should speak about is understanding what is the importance of scaling. Why should someone scale their e-commerce store? Or at least when you start off an e-commerce store, why should you plan for it so it's scalable in the future? What do you guys think?
Let's start with Happy New Year to everyone. Welcome
Oh,
to
wish everyone.
2025. No problem. We all appreciate you guys joining us every week or so when we upload the podcast. And this is the best way to start today when we are discussing about how to scale your business 2025. Clean slate. Everyone, tune into the podcast. We're going to spread a lot of value. And from our team to your team or whoever's doing individual business, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Let's begin.
Go on. So what does scaling mean in e-commerce?
Scaling in terms of, I think you asked a different one before.
Yeah,
The question,
just in general, what is scaling? Like, what is when you say the word scaling, and people see it online also, we can scale your business from here to here.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean to someone?
I think the importance, when we get into the importance of scaling, like I read recently that like most 40% or 50% of the startups who start up in e-commerce, they fail because they don't have any plans for scaling. Their strategies are not in place for scaling in the future, or their strategies are wrong when it comes to scaling. So scaling is something that is very important that you have to keep in mind when you set up your business model itself. So when it comes to growing the brand to the next stage, you need to be prepared throughout during the process itself. And if you look at why scaling is important, say I'll give you an example. If we have, say, for example, Squat Wolf. Okay. If when they started off, they would have probably had like 5 t-shirts, 5 shorts on their platform, on their website. If they would have stuck with that, sooner or later, a competitor would have come up to that level and they would have taken them out.
Correct.
Scaling is important so that you're still growing your business, competing with brands that are coming up, because it doesn't take a lot of time for someone to understand your business model and recreate that in a different spectrum.
Yeah.
So that is why scaling is so important, and you have to always be active with your marketing strategies, with your business model in every aspect of the business, so that anytime a competitor is coming up and trying to like overtake your products, you have the foundation, you have the finances, the money, everything that is required to take out the competition.
Correct. Like it's like people would get confused the difference between growth and scaling. Like growing your business or scaling your business.
Yeah.
Growing your business could just be as basic as let's take a clothing brand, for example. You create a website, put your products there, and then you just start pushing it out.
Yeah.
But in terms of comparing it with how do you scale that? When you scale, you create a brand story and a reason why should someone buy it. So you're already planning for the future. Then you also know certain CRM softwares that help you manage inventory, that help you understand and collect data. Data is the most important thing. So if you don't have all your pieces of your puzzle together, you're not able to take your business from one level to the other. So often people get confused. When you grow your business, they're like, okay, we started off, we're growing. Like at the end of the day, are you profitable?
Yeah.
If you're profitable, okay, what's your next step? Because you're let's say you're profitable and you're only in the UK.
Yeah.
How do you go and tap the US market? Are you well equipped to go and tap the US market?
Yeah.
So like all of these things. And I think if the most important thing is what are the benefits of scaling efficiently? Because you can scale at a point where you can eat into your profits and you're burning money. But how do you identify whether you're scaling efficiently or no? So
And like growth as a company, like for example, like if growth can be just numbers. So if I'm doing like 1 million in sales per month, 1 million this year, if next year I do 2 million in sales, that is considered growth for me.
Yeah.
But when it comes to scaling, it is scaling. If like you mentioned, efficient scaling is so if I have 500,000 in costs and I've done 1 million, efficient scaling would be maybe having 600,000 or 700,000 in cost and reaching 2 million.
correct.
That is what is important. People sometimes mistake growth and scaling. They say, "Oh, my company is growing," but how much money are you investing in that? How much money are you able to take out? So if scaling efficiently is what we can get into like deeper
Correct.
during this podcast,
Yeah.
and like
And also, like
understand
what I
better.
feel like many people lack nowadays, they just get into any business without having a proper plan for scaling as well. Like it doesn't mean if you have a very successful start, or if you've done all your due diligence, all your research, and then you started your business in a very good way. It's not necessary that it's set up for good scaling. So you gotta have good scaling plans and mechanisms from the beginning itself. So like you said, like there are many ways how we can scale, like getting in, like having proper research into the brand strategies, brand stories, or campaign stories or whatever. So going into the future, like I feel like having a very good plan for scaling from the step one itself is very important to make sure all these goals are met actually.
Yeah.
Even I think, when it comes down to scaling, having like strategy, and he mentioned about financial planning. Now, another aspect is when everyone thinks about starting a business, if they start it individually, they're constantly thinking of how much we can accumulate for ourselves without diversifying it, like in terms of hiring employees, or setting up new things like systems like CRM or something else that would benefit the company, right? Like efficient growth of the business to make sure you don't reach 2 million just by doing the same thing again and again.
Correct.
So in terms of scaling, there comes a lot of like, when I probably imagine that as we go deeper in the podcast, we'd see how we have to hire employees, we have to set up new technologies or softwares that will be implemented that
Fair.
will help scale our business, right?
So when you look at like strategies for scaling, because there are multiple strategies, I think so. One strategy that we can speak about is optimizing operations. That is like streamlining a process. If you have to get a task done from A to Z, is it streamlined in a way where if I'm not present, can somebody else in the company do it? Whether it's us, whether it's the employees. And the next thing is automating tasks so that we reduce human effort by keeping the same output, so that at the end of the day, if any of us are not present, the task that has to be done can be done. So, like in this case, when you look at inventory management systems and CRM softwares, what are certain things in this specific topic that can help someone who's starting off their business can really like grab from us over here?
Yeah, so when it comes to inventory management, there are a lot of softwares out there. I think Zendrop is one of them. So if we use Zendrop, we can easily track inventory. So that is like inventory going in and coming out. And the most important part of all this, or most crucial part of it, all these softwares can be linked to your Shopify store. So say, because everyone who's starting off in dropshipping, at the end of the day, initially when we start off, we are starting it off as like our second job. So say, for example, Father, if he's starting his dropshipping store as a second job, he has 5 hours in a day to focus on his website and his brand. So when he has to scale from 100,000 a month to 500,000 also, he still only has that 5 hours
Correct.
to work on it. So that is when automation and softwares and tools come in to help him manage those 5 hours, because he still has to play around with that limited amount of time.
Okay.
So when we talk about inventory management, so we have, say, Zendrop, and we have something called EasyShip. So EasyShip and Zendrop, both, it is going to cost you probably like $29-$30 for each of these subscriptions. But when you look at it from like a broader perspective, is it cheaper than hiring a person? Yes. If you're paying like $20 hourly for a person, you can spend $30 means $60 in these two softwares
Yeah.
over a month.
And I think the one skill that someone should have, like no matter what automations, whatever softwares you use, the one skill that you as a business owner need to have is being able to read data.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
everything on e-commerce and digital marketing, whatever you need online, all comes with respect to data. Like you can see number of units being sold. You can see how much you're spending on ads, number of users coming to your platform. But if you don't have your data collected in the right way, so that it's visible for you to be able to make a sensible output out of it, there's no point.
Yeah.
Like you can have
Yeah.
all the tools. Like one thing we have done for our company is structured data in a way where we can read it very easily, so we know exactly what's our next action point.
Yeah.
So for someone also that's watching this, the first step that I would say is open an Excel sheet, put down everything, write down what is your cost, what is your marketing budget, what is your fees that you're paying Shopify, what are the fees that you're paying to Zendrop,
Yeah.
what's the price that you buy a product at versus the price that you plan to sell your product at. So it's not being a data analyst, but it's just being a sensible person with data to understand. You get a product for something, you add your costs on top and you sell it for something. What is your profit that you're making in the way?
Yeah.
Because that allows you in the future to know, okay, if I want to increase my ads, I can, but it will not eat into my profit margins.
Yeah.
That all comes back into scaling at the end of the day.
And we
Yeah.
can, for our listeners, what we can do is like, for one of our brands, we can even share the Excel sheet
Correct.
that
Like
we have
a
prepared.
sample.
A sample.
Yeah.
Like take the data out, keep the formulas in, and share the Excel sheet. So they have a template.
Correct.
They can just change the names. We have certain things mentioned over there, like other than the information that is related to the brand, we
Yeah.
can share that Excel sheet,
Yeah,
which is something that everyone can use. Change the name and start calculating your costs.
for sure.
Comment
Yeah.
down if you want it, right?
Yeah. So, like Anush said, reading the information available is very important. So, and the many issues people face nowadays is a lack of awareness. They're not sure this problem might arise because they don't even know what that is. So, I'll just give one example of how this inventory issue might arise. So, if a person wants to scale his business by running a specific campaign, and then his campaign budget, let's say, is around $1,000, and then he only has a specific amount of inventory, and his campaign duration was maybe like 2 weeks, and if the product runs out within the first week, he's just burning money for the second week. So it's always important to make sure you have enough inventory and the inventory is being tracked properly so that all these issues won't come up in the future. And if it doesn't, or if it doesn't come up in the future, all in good, but you have to always expect the worst, So it's always good to understand the information available, make sure you learn it, and then make specific preparations and be ready for it in the future.
How much inventory do you think like a person who's starting off should hold? Like when do they start reordering it, or when, say for example, if they're doing drop shipping, and or say FBA,
Yeah.
if they're doing FBA, how much inventory should they hold in stock, and how much, like if you can give them a percentage?
So the first thing, the person can always, I've said in the previous podcast as well, you can always negotiate the minimum order quantity, and I always suggest to get the lower side of the quantity available. So maybe if it always depends on the product, but let's say it's a medium range product of maybe like $20 to $50, I'd always suggest getting the lower end. So maybe let's just say from around 200 to 400 units.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, in terms of like when do they place the next order?
So depends on how frequent the sales are happening. Let's say if a person's making a sale every week, that's obviously it's not good. So you don't make sales immediately, of course. So but let's just say if you're making a few sales a day, or if you're making a good sales amount per week, then you can always start to think about reordering once you hit the once you sell off 50% of your existing stock.
Okay. And then you probably also have to look into like what are the supporting marketing activities you're running as well, because like you mentioned earlier, you don't want to be out of stock when you're having a marketing campaign running.
But you can also correlate that because like if you know your cost that you're buying the product at, and you know your selling price, and when you keep a marketing budget spent per day, you can account for that in your entire cost to calculate, okay, how many units is my marketing budget enough to sell so that I'm still profitable.
You're breaking even on the marketing budget. Yeah.
So you can either take it in one way, which is I order my units first, or you build a proper value chain of your product. So you know when you're allocating certain X amount of budget to your campaigns per day, it's enough for maybe 1,000 units. So okay, fine. If I keep my inventory for 30 days, it's enough for my 1,000 units. But then that means you have to stop running your campaigns then also, or you can plan better for the future. Again, it all comes down to what's your delivery time to get your products
Yeah,
and
exactly.
everything.
I
But
would also suggest, you told in terms of systems you could put in, ChatGPT, because like you
Yeah.
told Zendrop and all this, these all cost something, and we are teaching people how to do it like
Yeah.
as financially with whatever financial constraint they have. ChatGPT 4.2, I don't know how much it costs. How much? $30, $17?
No, the new Mini is expensive, I think. So
Doesn't
it's like,
matter, but
But
I've seen
honestly,
this one guy.
more,
Remember, I showed you one video.
but more than ChatGPT, I would say Grok is a
Oh
lot
yeah,
better, man.
there
Yeah.
you go.
Like it's
Yeah.
free right now. They've made it free for everyone to use because it's so powerful that they said that they've kept it
Oh.
free from 2025 onwards for everyone to use, and you can use it to a point where you just have to type out. You can do two things. You can either write down, if you're someone that writes down notes, you can write down your entire value chain, take
Okay.
a picture of it, upload it on Grok. Grok is for those of you that don't know, Grok is a tool on X. Create an account, it's for free. You just upload what's your value chain and tell them, can you like simplify it for me?
Yeah.
Or whatever
Perfect.
there's a lot of things you can do. You
There
can
you
upload
go.
URLs. You just need to use these tools like ChatGPT and Grok as like your best friend who can explain everything to you in every single industry. And I think that's where scaling would help a lot, because you can run business plans through them, you can run ideas through them. And
Right.
like with all of this, it just comes down to this next strategy, which is expanding product lines as one of a scaling option. Like you said in the previous
Yeah.
example, if you're stuck with 5 products, maybe the next way to scale your business is move into a different segment. Like you move from Squat Wolf. They were originally such a gym wear brand,
Yeah.
but now they've marketed themselves to such a way where it just becomes streetwear.
Yeah.
People wear it not only to the gym but outside with hoodies and all of that. So when you look at expanding product lines, what are some things that people can do if they're looking into this side of the business?
So, firstly, like so if you've picked up a niche, so we were talking about Squat Wolf. Let's stick to Squat Wolf itself. You've picked up a niche saying that it is gym wear that I'm focusing on. So is it men or women? It depends. Like if we have a subcategory saying I'm only doing men, then focus on men. When it comes to expanding that, you have to stick with trends. So whatever is the up and coming trend in say gym wear, you need to be there. You need to be there on top of it as soon as possible, because if you have scaled your brand in a way that people are coming to your website and purchasing your product, then people expect that out of you as well. If say for example now in Squat Wolf, after they started off with clothing, they went into gym accessories. So you have gym bags, socks. I think they have belts also, right? Gym belts.
They have all kinds of accessories.
Yeah, they have all kinds of accessories. So that means they saw that after scaling to a certain point, their baseline hit a plateau in terms of sales. That is why they needed to add more products into their catalog, so that later on there are people visiting their website for that particular product as well.
Yeah, and it keeps people also constantly engaged with the
Yeah.
brand. Like you move from just a gym wear to you start becoming like a person that wants to wear the brand more than you want to wear gym wear.
And I also think the quality of the website, right? It's
Yeah.
insane. So even that also plays a really good part, I feel.
Yeah. So we have to stick with trends. You have
Yeah.
like say for example, some people prefer like maybe when Squat Wolf launched, oversized t-shirts were not a trend.
Yeah, now it's the trend.
Now oversized t-shirts are a trend.
Yeah,
So like your clothing line also changes along with that.
correct.
Size hoodies also became oversized.
What
I
about
have a very good question. When you mentioned trend, how do you create your own trend? What if you want to be the person who sets up a trend? It's a good
Yeah.
thing to discuss, because I'm
Yeah.
a bit confused about that. How do these trends begin? Like, for example, Dubai chocolate bar. Like, since we're dealing with this so often now, I'm like, where did this trend start from? How did these people who start the trend capitalize on it? Some of them fell off, some of them.
Trends
Like,
start
what do you think?
purely from viral content, like people who have good content ideas for the most basic product. And the way how this works is your content needs to have a good hook. That is, a hook is basically the first 2 or 3 seconds that catches someone's attention so that they are going to stay on that video for long. And then you give them some dopamine release at the end. Like a very famous trend that happened recently was Mr. Beast like announcing how him, Logan Paul, and KSI are just running with bags of money. It's the most pointless video. But you as a user, if you don't care about anything, you will watch that entire video because it starts off with him running with one bag.
Yeah.
Then the next clip running with 2 bags, 3 bags, and then a lot of bags. Like there's no outcome of it, but it's this dopamine release that gives you a human brain. These catches on and other people start going to it. Like I've seen videos of someone just breaking a beer bottle, someone breaking whiskey bottles. It makes no sense. But
Oh,
then,
the swinging one.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it makes no sense. But
Or
then
rolling it.
but then these are the things that catches on to people. And then at the same time, if you can throw a product at the back that's your personal brand, these are just free ideas like anyone can do.
Yeah.
Like any of the products that we have, the flare bars or whatever, you can just take it, go to Burj Khalifa, throw it from the balcony. You'll get arrested. Don't do that. But I'm saying how you'll get arrested, but it's gonna go viral. Like these are just things you have to do something that somebody else is not willing to do, so that they are willing to watch your video rather than doing it themselves instead.
So can trends be? How do we make trends professional, or like are usually trends,
That's a
not
good
so
question.
formal, informal?
Because I've never
Can
thought
you do a
about
trend
it.
on purpose?
Yeah, that's the thing I'm thinking. Like, can we do trends on purpose? Like, if we're doing it for whatever you spoke about is quite informal. But now when it goes into corporate, how do we?
You
do
can,
a
like, for
trend?
example, I think this is going to be the next trend that's going to come in Dubai, at least in Dubai for sure,
Yeah.
is drone advertising.
Yeah.
Brands are going to do drone advertisements. The only reason is because it's something that takes a lot of money. So only top brands can do it who have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the best part is it's so cool. Everyone takes their phone out. The objective is you need people to take their phone out and click a picture and spread news about it. That's what and we've seen it for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
We've seen it every time you go on the Palm, you see there's a drone show going on. And I found the company that's doing it as well in Dubai.
Yeah,
I don't
even
know
I
what's
saw
their
it.
name.
It's Sky something.
Correct, but I don't know exactly how much it costs to do it. But they were also talking about this is going to be the future of advertisements. Like, I don't know if anyone's seen the New Year's celebrations in China.
Yeah,
So
I saw it.
They had drones flying around, and then
There's a dragon.
from the drones, there were I don't know whether it's from the drones that there were fireworks going off, and there were drones of a dragon going up and going into it, and it was something like out of this world. But and I think if you're able to advertise your brand that way, a lot of people are going to see it, because right now advertisements are two ways: either it's on the billboards, leaflets, or it's on your mobile phone.
Yeah.
This is just plain in the sky. You look up and you're just seeing drones fly around. Wow, you see Mantaga over there. You're like, oh, cool, nice.
And I think we discussed this point in our first podcast, because now marketing is becoming such a hard thing to do. It's hard to be unique in marketing.
Yeah.
So even smaller brands, if they have creativity, they can do the same thing that any big brand is doing. Maybe in not such a big scale, but in terms of creativity, they can compete with big brands.
Correct.
So the only way, like you said, bigger brands can expand on their marketing is going extravagant.
Yeah. Doing these things that were never done before. And I think that's where things will move into, with the
Do
next.
you think starting a trend requires a baseline following?
Yeah,
I think
it does.
not, because there are so many people who pop up overnight and they click off, right? You've seen those TikToks of random people in Dubai. There are these Talabat, Noon Kareem drivers and stuff. They just start off random page. Remember your TikTok, the one which you posted, the first post was 10.2K. You never know, this algorithm is weird. But that's an exceptional case.
Yeah,
That's one. Yeah. It's not easy to hit that, but
no, because I was just trying to think that Ayman, he started breaking the
disconnect.
disconnect, smashing the this thing.
It's very trendy. It's something.
It's very
creative,
trendy,
unique.
and I'm sure now another brand is going to start that soon.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Everyone will catch on.
Will catch on to it.
That's what, I think the most, even over here, I've written down the next strategy of scaling was enhancing customer experience, because you can do everything for yourself and for your own business. But how many people actually looks at the business from a customer's point of view and builds their store? One thing that I had in mind was, when you have a physical store, when someone enters your store, you don't have any impact on where they move around, what they see. But a digital store is, for the first time, you get to pick what your shopper sees. So it's your choice. If you want to bombard them with pop-ups, they might leave your store. Or do you want to keep it clean? Do you want to have your products in the main page? Or do you want to show your brand story first? You get to decide what your customer goes through. So when you enhance your customer journey, these are like the first thing we started off with was AI chatbots.
Yeah.
Because when someone wants to speak to someone about the website or about the business, they need to talk to someone. So having all of these things in place really helps someone when they're scaling their business. That's what I think. Like,
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the customer reviews are extremely crucial for any brand to succeed. So if you don't focus on what the customer has to say regarding your product, it is 100% going to be a failure, because you need that customer. It's not the first purchase that is important, it's the second and third purchase. You need that customer to come and buy the product again and again and again.
yeah. So it's easy also for them. Like all these tools that we spoke about, tools, like when we speak about tools, it's not just tools on inventory management and CRM. It's tools all the way from getting customers feedback, asking them to rate, giving their feedback so that you have something on your website. The other tool is social media marketing tools, email marketing.
Yeah.
You cannot sit and physically email a person over and over again, but that's why if you have tools that are automated that help you, you use tools like Go High Level that we've
Yeah.
used. These are all tools that you can explore and see what fits your business. But at the end of the day, when you as a business owner opens this, you will not know what to do and how to use it. That's why you have people like mentors or consultants that understand these tools in such a way where when they come to you and they tell you, you don't need A to Z, you just need these three tools. This is what it's going to cost you. These are the objective of these tools, and this is your results that you're going to get from these.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he told about a Go High Level. I feel like this is something which we can, it's not much known about this software. I don't think many people, especially these people who's trying to get into the business, know about this software. This can be very useful if you know how to use it. They have various features, but I'll speak about some of the features which can really help everyone. They have a really good chatbot feature, and it's AI powered. So if you can implement that in your website, it can be really useful. The way you can train it and the way it replies is top notch. And then the second thing is they also have a really good CRM software. It can help streamline your business really well. And the added advantage is you can, if you are maybe an agency, you can also white label that software and you can sell it to other people as well. So this is another software. I mean, this is another feature which I feel is really good. And then the third one is, the email and WhatsApp marketing. So this is very important because if a person makes a sale and then your aim should be to retain that customer. So you can keep a duration of how often you want to send an email reminder, or maybe, for example, there's a 10% off. You can just send an email or a WhatsApp reminder saying that we have this promotion running. Check us out, or whatever you want. And also another thing, like he said, the feedback form, a Google review form, even that can be automated as well. So all these features is very important. And then this Go High Level software, I don't think many people know about it, but checking a little bit about this can be very useful. And if you need help further in understanding all of this, contact us at Mantaga.
How much was the Go High Level subscription?
It varied from $99 per month for the basic level, but that doesn't give you a lot of features.
Yeah.
Like if you're actually planning to scale your business, you have to go to the point where you're paying $399 per
Yeah,
month.
that's why I feel like like businesses that
The
are starting
beginning,
off,
it wouldn't be
it's
Yeah.
it's a bit of a ripoff, because you just need you don't use a lot of features that's already
but for-
on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's probably best to like
Yeah.
reduce that subscription cost.
Do you think
$500?
mentorship programs are smart for someone trying to scale their business? Like if you're stuck at $10,000 per month,
Yeah.
for you to go to 20 or 30 or 50,000 or even 100,000, do you think you should invest money in building a strategy on how to reach there? Or do you think you should invest your money into a good mentorship program where someone, not a mentorship program or a mentorship network, an e-commerce network where people have done what you're looking to do and they can help you like lose less money, for example. It's not about going making more money. It's how do you test out your strategies without losing money? So do you guys think mentorship programs is something that you would recommend to someone?
100%, because that's what we are doing right now. If someone approaches any of the businesses that want to start off e-commerce, what we do is we've gone through the rough edges or the trials and error, and whoever has the capacity or the capability to do a collaborative effort or a financial transaction with us where we exchange our value for their gain, right? So what we would help, like a mentor or anyone who's trying to coach us, they'll tell you exact steps to apply immediately But if you're someone who wants to go in the journey by himself, figure it out by themselves, come to different conclusion, try different ways, you can do it. That route is always there, because maybe you think you can keep your budgets for something better. You trust your skill, right? But a mentor, this is like guaranteed success. I mean, choosing the right mentors or the right group would be a guaranteed success, because they're going to tell you, hey, listen, open up your phone. We can tell someone how to get start up their business tomorrow in like few minutes. Just
Yeah.
open up your phone, take out Instagram, start your Instagram page, website, boom, 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 and then everyone's
Yeah.
good to go. So mentorship is definitely something you could look for once you gain enough knowledge by yourself, so no one can take you for a joyride. So you can question the mentor when he puts forward. You shouldn't listen to them blindly, because
Yeah.
then that kills the whole perspective
Yeah.
of you trying to be a business
But
owner.
nowadays there are many mentorship programs. How do you know, like, if how to choose the perfect one?
That's
This
why in
is
the,
why-
in the previous podcast we
Yeah.
covered e-commerce myths.
Yeah.
Like all of the myths exist over there, and we covered everything on what is a myth, what is the actual thing, how do you find the right thing.
Yeah.
So
And learning by yourself, you need to educate yourself
Yeah.
first before you dive into this, because we've done that same thing. We didn't educate ourselves, we tried to follow someone's A to Z of what they did. But if you're doing something like a business, you're starting it up for yourself, and you have a different goal in your mind, you will have to make certain changes according to all of your vision or your own personal vision, right? So educating yourself will put you in a better position while choosing better mentors, and always,
I think like completely agree with for what Fadil says. Only thing is, like, if someone's listening to this podcast, I would say just don't go and join a course.
correct.
Don't go and join a course. That's all. Like, because every business requires its own set of strategies, its own set. It's not like one marketing campaign that has worked for someone else will work for you. It might not work. So that's why I don't like courses. That's why I don't understand people who do courses, because every business has its own like pros and cons,
Yeah.
and everything has to be attended to individually for that particular business. So if you're looking to join a course, don't do it.
Yeah.
If you find a mentor that has done it, because like Raju, like you said,
Hmm.
you can find a lot of ways to save money as well.
Correct.
Because maybe one particular subscription that you're planning to take, that person has already died and he's found it
like-
useless.
Correct.
So that is somewhere you can save money.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, no matter what campaign somebody else has done or business model someone else has run, it worked for them because they understood why they were doing what they were
Yeah.
doing. If tomorrow somebody comes and sees our Meta Business Suite, for example, goes to the campaigns, they'll not understand anything about it.
Yeah.
Because there is a set thought process that went into why is a campaign structured the way it is, why is the ad creative like that, who are we trying to target, what is the objective. So for someone, before you even go out and get a course or get a mentor, the first thing is sharpen your own skills, like learn these things by yourself. That's why for me the next thing that came to my mind was, when people are scaling, what are the challenges that they face? And I think the number one challenge that people face is managing cash flow.
Yes. I
Because
was gonna say
if
that,
you
yeah.
don't know how to manage cash flow, you will burn money compared to actually making money. And how do you manage cash flow? The step one, you need to write everything down. How much is one thing going to cost? What is your additional cost over it? Versus when you sell the product, how much profit do you make? Let's say you have 1,000 units of t-shirts. You've sold all of it. That money that you've made is not your profit to take home. That money that you've made is capital that you reinvest into the business to take it from 1,000 units a month to 1,500 units a month. So understanding that when you start a business, it's not about taking the money out of the company in the start. It's more about building equity in the company, increasing your sales, increasing your valuation, so that down the line, when you do take money out, it doesn't impact your direct day-to-day operations of
Correct.
the business. So this is one challenge that comes into my mind. What about you guys?
At what point do you think a person, like, say for example, 1,000 units
Yeah.
of $100 of t-shirts? Okay. At what point do you think a person should start taking money out?
A person should start taking money out when their basic fundamentals and foundation of the business is running and they're still making excessive cash flow. So let's say, for example, you are making $10,000 per month. At the same $10,000 per month in revenue,
Yeah,
not in
okay.
profit, in revenue. Now your profit margin is, let's say, 30%. So you're making $3,000 per month as net profit. Should you be taking money out? No.
No.
because your spending cost to inventory, cost of advertising, your campaigns cost, and that additional $3,000 a month, if you take it out of your business versus you actually add that back into your ads and increase the number of reach that is there, you'll probably sell a lot more.
Yeah.
But you should start taking it out. You should start taking any, even if it's $1,000 out, start taking it out only when you have reached a point where in your roadmap you have successfully done everything from A to Z, and now you're just on an automated way of making money.
Yeah.
So you have your ads running, you have all of your softwares paid for, you have any of your subscriptions paid for. You've successfully done it for at least 3 months so that you've seen that there is nothing disrupting your business. Then you start realizing, okay, I'm gonna take out $1,000 per month because it's not gonna impact my business.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
So like it should be consistent.
Yeah.
Over a period of time, there should be consistent amount of money coming into your business so that you can start take it out later.
The same way how we have also kept a target for ourselves. Like just because we make money doesn't mean we take money out, because we purely understand when you make money, it's for the sole purpose of growing the company in a way where if one of us is not available, the company needs to still run.
Yeah.
But when do we take money out is when we've hit the target that we've actually given ourselves. Because if you don't hit the target that you've given yourself, you're rewarding yourself by actually impacting your business, because it's not just numbers, it's about mentality and discipline.
Yeah.
You keep a discipline mental state of mind that you will gonna reach X amount of target in these many number of months. If you achieve it, fair enough, go into it. This is what Elon's done with Tesla. He's not taken a salary out till date. Every year he sets KPIs for himself to achieve, but his reward for it is stock.
Yeah.
And that's the main value at the end of the day.
And another challenge would be good strategy. Like people want to start without a good strategy. We started with strategy rather than I'll see it, because then that's how businesses fail. Like you mentioned, many businesses fail because they start without any strategy. They expect once I nosedive into this, it should work. Then it doesn't work. Then they're like, shit, what happened? Because you didn't have a strategy, right? When you have a strategy, it'll be good.
And for us also, we failed initially.
Oh yeah. A lot of downs
setbacks.
And in the beginning it was like really rough waters.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we had a strategy where we wanted to go.
Yeah.
Where we reached eventually. But that's because 4 of us were there, and we were all in it together. But someone who's doing it individually, when they don't have any output coming from someone else, it would be quite difficult. So if you can break it down properly, and this is the thing, like Grok or ChatGPT, they give you so many ideas or methodologies in how to make a strategy. Like literally, it's so easy now to do something. It's a matter of you applying this, but like in terms of building everything for you, and then you can enjoy the process, how it goes once you set up store, once you get client feedback, once you deal with it. The first maybe shipment, not everything may go exactly perfect. Some may go here and there, maybe showing you that maybe this approach would be better. Like for example, you choose a supplier is not delivering properly, or the quality is bad, and that's maybe guiding you towards a better supplier who will give you better output. And that's how we started. We had so many people that we were working with, they didn't provide quality results. So I think that could definitely be a challenge where if there's no good strategy.
And how does someone overcome any specific problem that they face? Like, is their first solution, like, let's say you're someone that's facing an issue in your business right now. What do you do?
No, I think,
in your guys' opinion?
I think, see, for example, for a dropshipping store or an e-commerce store, the most important part of scaling is you scale without dropping any of your performance KPIs that you have been following in the past.
Yes.
So if it's customer reviews, if you have maintained say a 4.5 rating in Google throughout that first 6 months or 1 year period before you are thinking of scaling, you need to make sure that after you scale also you're maintaining that rating. And if you're not maintaining rating, why are you not maintaining the rating? So that is one crucial aspect of challenges that can be faced, because when you reach out to a broader audience, it is not necessary that everyone agrees with what you're selling or everyone likes your product. So that keeping the quality, keeping the standards is extremely crucial when it comes to scaling, because it does not take long for a product to get a bad name in the market.
Yeah.
And say if you're selling a t-shirt or a t-shirt for $100, $150, this is hard-earned money that people are putting in to buy your product. Once they buy it, if they don't like it, they're gonna leave a negative review over there.
Yeah, and a negative review on an e-commerce store is more powerful than a
Exactly.
negative review on a physical store, because reviews are not ranked by somebody's preference.
Yeah.
Like if you're a news store, if someone leaves a negative review, that is there until you as a ethical businessman chooses whether you want to leave it there or no. Now, like when we spoke about all of this, key strategies that we discussed were optimizing operations,
Yeah.
expanding product lines, and enhancing customer experiences. So when people listen to these three strategies and we tell them, like, you have to follow these XYZ, for us as four individual people, when someone reaches out to us, what is a key point in scaling that we offer to people?
In terms of scaling, what we offer to people is that we first look into your foundation. So we first check if your foundation has been built in the right manner. Like, do you have all the supporting pillars that is required to scale the business? So, say for example, are your campaigns going out in an orderly manner, in a regular manner? Are your product prices at competitive in the market? Are your costs that you're incurring, are they all necessary, or if there is something that can be removed? So we make sure the foundation is right first, and then we look into the next stage. That is where it comes to scaling. So if you're going from $100,000 business to $200,000 business, where can you put that extra? Where can we generate that extra 100,000 while maintaining the costs at a minimum?
Correct. Like efficiently
Efficiently,
scaling.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so also when we started the business, we were 4 people, and then each of us had a task to focus on. So that way, it made our job easier, right?
Yeah.
But if a person wants to do it alone, they might think, "Oh my God, it's so confusing. I got to handle all these things. It's very confusing for me. Like, what do I focus on?" So I feel like automation. It's so important. Like where all he can aim at automating his job, it's going to help him a lot. And also, if he wants help in like guidance and what to focus on where to prioritize in step 1, where to prioritize in step 2, we can obviously help with that as well. So because if you're prioritizing at the wrong stuff, especially in the beginning, things can go wrong very quickly. So it's very important to make sure that what's your focus on every step of the move you make.
Yeah. This is why, like, we invite all listeners, reach out to us if you have an existing e-commerce business, not even an e-commerce business, if it's a business in even marketing or anything, reach out to us if you're looking for a tailor-made scaling
Yeah.
model. And like we said, we don't do anything just for a Shopify store. We can do it for a physical business. We can do it for a marketing agency. It all depends on who you are, what you do. And at the end of the day, we don't take everyone, like we said,
Yeah.
just because value has to go both ways in terms of we like to work with people who have a goal in mind, who have a roadmap, rather than working with someone that's here just for like a small task and then move away. So, yeah, with all of this, I was going to ask you, do you think we have any case study that we can say that there's a specific thing that we faced and we did this specific task and it helped us like move to the next level?
I think what's that people that we used? I mean, don't tell the name obviously, but those guys.
Oh, people who taught us how to do personal branding,
Yeah.
Yeah.
taking our business, like
We're
our
not talking about
knowledge.
that.
He's not talking about that.
Then-
No.
He's
Those
talking about the
guys.
one we paid.
The one we paid.
Oh.
I
The
forgot about-
10K.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. So you think that's
We called
a good,
them the 10K.
case study? Because after that was when we
No,
jumped.
he's
into,
talking about some
But
brand
but
which we helped.
you can take that, you can look at it as a mentorship model because you learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because every time we fight about it, saying that
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's how we overcame that situation from what he learned. But you're saying something in a brand case study.
like
Yeah.
something that we did for a brand. Like I'm just trying to think.
So many brands.
There's a lot of.
I mean, there's a lot of brands that we helped.
I'm just
Anyone
thinking
who's
of,
come
like,
to
if
us.
you can put a finger on it and say that this
I
is...
think the one thing that we did that's coming to my mind is there was no process in place with the current brand that we're working
Yes.
with. There was no process in place for
yeah.
sales and marketing.
Yeah.
And considering the number of marketing campaigns that were going out, the amount we were spending on ads versus what sales were coming in, the way how we started off the month with that brand was just all over the air. It was just WhatsApp conversations. How much is this? How much is that? And then we were like, you know what, enough is enough. We need a systematic way to do this, which is why, like we said, we created an Excel sheet where each person has a task to do, which is put their numbers in. So we know exactly, not just us, everyone involved in the task knows what is going on. We know how much money the company's made. We know how much we've spent on ads, so that the next month when we're planning for it, we know last month we spent 10,000 dirhams on ads. How much did that get us in sales? Now, the month of November, what did we do? We increased that. But we were able to increase it because we had data to show.
Yeah.
So, like, that's,
No,
in my mind, the best example that I could give.
Even with the content,
Yes.
even with the content, like now is we'll start realizing it soon that how like proper good content can give you certain X amount of organic reach itself without blowing so much money on ads.
Correct.
So like we are excited for the
That would be
And
Yeah,
we've
big
also
jump.
seen the website sales increase by more than
Yeah.
50% since we moved in.
Yeah.
And this is only because of campaigning at the right time with the right ad creative. Just with these strategies, we've increased sales over the past 6
And
months by
even
more than
small
50%.
stuff like SEO, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No, but you
Everything
see,
like paid.
one scalable part that, like, one scaling solution that we found that we couldn't crack because the client themselves did not want to take our solution was when we ran our campaigns, we told them the way we run campaigns are very targeted to a point where you will increase your revenue.
Yeah.
And that showed in the data.
Yeah.
That showed how do we read data? Number of add to carts. The number of times people have added an item to cart but did not fulfill it just purely because of certain areas within the website, that was an enough indicator for us as businessmen to know this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's why we came out and we said, okay, these all things have to be done. But then again, at the end of the day, a business can only do what's within their capabilities.
Yeah.
But you can identify scalable options. Can you do it? Yes or no? If you can't, you still move on to the next.
Exactly.
Like, because that still is not just the core operation of the business. It's like one side of it. But because we work with all the sides of it, we know exactly how to manage things.
And I think you put it in the right way as well. Like we saw that add to cart. I mean, you didn't tell
How
it
about
as
we
a
explain
drawback.
that problem?
Yes.
What it
You
is?
didn't tell it as a drawback. You spoke about it as an opportunity. That's what's important for the brand as well. You should not look at it as a flaw in the website. You should look at it as an opportunity where the X amount of customers have left your website.
Correct.
And I can get to these customers without even doing anything
Yes,
other than like just streamlining that last checkout part.
for sure.
You explain, bro.
Yeah, so the issue, just for you want to know what you're talking about, the issue we faced was people were adding the products to the cart, but we didn't see much sales because the issue was there was a minimum order fee of X amount, and then it also took 2 days of working days for the product to be delivered. So we realized that this was an opportunity which we need to overcome, and then we did, and then we saw good success.
Yeah. And
By
there's a lot
making
of, like, that's what I say, like, reading data and having the right tools is key to understand, like, where is the drawback in your whole website. Like, identifying customers journey, all of this comes in the entire process. Now, the one thing that we wanted to, like, emphasize on is I would like to encourage the audience and the listeners to share their scalable experiences, something that they've done in the past but it's not worked out, or they've done in the past that's worked out, things that we can learn from. If you guys can put it in the comments below, we'll answer it, we'll see how to take it forward. But I think for today, this
Covers it.
covers everything about
Yeah.
scaling your business.
Thank you so much for watching. And everyone, like, subscribe, put a comment down. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We did get a lot of positive feedback from all the other podcasts. People have been reaching out because they like the concept of how easy and simplified we make starting business in the digital world, because a lot of people think there's a lot of capital required and etc. Right? So we are happy to help everyone. Thank you for the response, feedbacks. It helps us also grow and take this podcast to another level on providing information.